Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine at your home. Dear students, today we shall study the rest part of the lesson number 5, that is mass media and history. Okay, I know that this video is for the student who are studying in 10th standard Maharashtra board. Okay student, this is the second part of this chapter, that is mass media and history. In the first part we have studied introduction to the mass media, history of mass media, then newspapers. What do you mean by newspapers? Then precursors of newspapers, and some of the newspapers we have studied, that is Bengal Gazette. Okay, then we have studied, that is Darpan. Okay students, and one more important newspapers that we have studied, Prabhakar. Okay students, yes, and Jnanadoy. Okay students, so these newspapers we have studied. With these newspapers, again few important newspapers we have studied, that is Indu Prakash and Dinabandhu by Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. Okay students, now today what we are going to learn students, again few newspapers we are going to learn. Okay students, before moving forward, I would like to request you that if you are new on my channel, then do not forget to subscribe right now and share it to your friends. If you are my existing viewer or subscriber, then do not forget to share it to others, your friends. Okay students, so let's learn now the next point, next newspaper, that is Kesari and Maratha. Okay students, Kesari and Maratha both were very important newspapers, okay, during the pre-independence era. Okay students, because Kesari and Maratha both are very important newspapers during the pre-independence or during freedom struggle of India. Okay students, so let's try to understand now. See, Kesari and Maratha, the two newspapers, are indicative of an important stage in the history of Indian newspapers before the independence. Just now I have told you, these are very important newspapers during the independence or before independence students. Okay, so these are very important newspapers. They played a very important role during the freedom struggle of India. Now, who were the editor? See now, Gopal Ganesh Agarkar and Bal Gangadhar Tilak started these papers in 1881 student. Yes, who started these newspapers? That is Kesari and Maratha, Gopal Ganesh Agarkar and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay students, Bal Gangadhar Tilak was one of the renowned freedom fighter. Okay students, so both Gopal Ganesh Agarkar and Bal Gangadhar Tilak started these two newspapers, that is Kesari and Maratha. In these newspapers, one of the article of Bal Gangadhar Tilak was very famous, that is सरकारचे डोके ठिकाणावर आहे का. This was the famous headline in the newspaper, that is Kesari. Okay students, yes, so here Bal Gangadhar Tilak was one of the very important freedom fighter I have just now told you. Now see what they spoke about in the newspaper or in the Kesari and Maratha. See, they spoke about the social political issues of that period. Kesari began to publish articles about the nationwide situations, book in the native languages and politics in England. So some different new kind of news also we could able to find in the Kesari. That is, the Kesari started publishing the articles related to the nation or our India, we can say, or the situations in India that time in freedom struggle. See, in 1881 it started. So during that period, whatever happened, okay, politically, socially, that kind of news were published, as well as books in native language. Whatever the books were there in native language, for example, Kesari started in Maharashtra, so in Marathi language books started to be published, and politics in England. Okay, so international news also we could able to find in the Kesari and Maratha. Now in the 21st century, newspapers have continued to fulfill an important role. It was acknowledged the fourth column of the democracies. This is very important line student. Okay, so it was acknowledged as the fourth column of the democracy. And so student, media is considered one of the very important pillars of democracy or columns of democracy. Okay student, for example, there are 4 columns of democracy. four important pillars of a democracy. One is legislature, second one is executive, third one is judiciary, and the fourth one is media. Okay, students, what is the function of the legislature? Legislatures make laws, executive implement the laws, judiciary look after the laws whether they are implementing in a proper way or not, and media plays very important role in all these aspects. Okay, students, so here media is acknowledged as the fourth column of the democracy, so don't forget it, it is very, very important. Now student, so till now we have studied about the newspaper. Few newspapers we have seen, for example Bengal Gazette we have seen, Darpan we have seen, Prabhakar we have studied. Yes. Now student, here what we are going to learn, that is magazines and journals. Okay student, so what are these magazine and journals? Let's try to understand without wasting time, students. Now students, again I would like to request you that if you find this video is useful to you, informative to you, if you are able to understand whatever I am teaching, then do not forget to like it, subscribe it, and don't forget to comment also, as well as share it to your friends, all the friends. Okay students, now let's learn. See, magazines and journals. Magazines and journals are periodical publications. So what is this? Magazines and journals, these are published periodically after a particular period. Okay, the magazines and journals are published. For example, the newspaper published daily. Okay students, but here magazines can be published after a particular period. Okay, it can be weekly, it can be monthly, it can be quarterly. Okay, it can be what we can say half yearly, or it can be yearly. Okay students, so magazines and journals are periodical publications. This category, so this is very important to understand, it is a periodical publication. This category includes publications which are weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly, annual. Just now I have told you this. There may be some chronicles which are published at no fixed time, so any time it can be published. Okay student, have understood? Yes, very good. Now let's try to understand the further. Now student, here one of the important things that we are going to learn, that is do this. What is it student? See now, in recent times many newspapers have introduced the e-newspapers. The e-newspapers are being received well by the readers. Learn to read e-newspaper with the help of your teachers. Now student, almost all the papers are now digital. Okay, that is called as e-newspaper, that is electronic newspaper. Okay, and it is completely digital. So almost all the papers are now e-newspapers or digital papers, we can see. And now here some of the papers you can read, but you have to subscribe it, you have to pay something for that. But some of the papers are there, newspapers are there which are completely free. For example, Lokmat newspaper is completely free, then Lok Satta paper is completely free, E-Sakal is completely free, then Pudhari newspaper is completely free. But if you want to read Times of India, subscription is there, you have to pay money for that, so that is the paid subscription, we can say. Okay, but here we can read e-newspapers, as well as these newspapers have developed their own apps, news apps. Okay students, so there also you can read the newspapers, or the headlines you can read there. Okay student, have you understood? Now see student, here the next part we are going to learn here, that is, see, Bal Shastri Jambekar started the first monthly magazine in Marathi. It was named Digdarshan. Okay, now see student, here we are studying about the magazines. Now magazines, how the magazines are published after a particular period of time, that I have told you. Now in the Marathi, for the first time, one of the magazines is published, that is Digdarshan, and this Digdarshan magazine is published by Bal Shastri Jambekar. Okay students, so don't forget, in examination question can be asked, which was the first Marathi magazine published by Bal Shastri Jambekar. Okay students, so such kind of question can be asked. Now student, here see, among the periodicals, Pragati, now a defunct journal, was started in 1929 and edited by Trambak Shankar Sejwalkar. Now see student, one of the very important periodicals, that is Pragati. and now, but this Pragati periodical is not working now. It is no more existing now or functioning now. Okay, defunct means what? Defunct means it is no more working, no longer existing. It means that this Pragati periodical is not working, but it was started in 1929. Okay, and it was started by whom? Trimbak Shankar Sejwalkar. Okay, he wrote regularly in this historiographical journal. So student, just now I have told you Trimbak Shankar Sejwalkar used to write daily in his periodical. And what about he used to write or of Maharashtra's history and social movement. So he used to write about the historiography of Maharashtra as well as the social movements. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Now see next one. Currently there are many periodicals devoted to Indian history. Marathi journals such as Bharatiya Ityas, Samskruti and Marathwada Ityas Parishad Patrika may be cited as examples. Nowadays also students, currently at present also many periodicals are there, many magazines are there, many journals are there. Okay, and most of the journals, periodicals are devoted to the Indian history. Means in these magazines we could able to read about the historiography or history of India, we can say. Then Marathi journals such as Bharatiya Ityas and Sanskriti, Bharatiya Ityas and Sanskriti and Marathwada Ityas Parishad Patrika may be cited an example. So these are very important examples. Okay, if you want to give the examples, here two examples are given. Marathi journals such as Bharatiya Ityas and Sanskriti and Marathwada Ityas Parishad Patrika. These are very important or renowned examples of the periodicals that are existing right now in the current present time. Okay, student, now let's try to understand the next point that is very important and interesting, and we are very quite aware about it. We are very quite linked to it. We are very quite connected to it. See, that is electronic or digital journalism. Yes, student, this era is the period of digital journalism only. Okay, because all is available on our smartphone. So digitalization is very important. Digitalization of journalism we can see here. Okay, just now we have seen electronic papers or newspapers. We have studied about e-newspapers. In the same way here we are going to learn about electronic or digital journalism. Okay, student, let's try to understand now. These are ultra modern periodicals form a part of electronic of digital journalism. Yes, student. So these are very important periodicals which are the part of the electronic of digital journalism. History is the prime subject of interest for these periodicals as well. So history is one of the important subject for these digital journalism. Actually, right now at present the politics is one of the very important part of the digital journalism. But with this, the political news are also connected with the history. So history is a prime subject of interest for these periodicals or digital journalism, we can say. Okay, students, have understood? Now next, many web news portals, social media, web channels, YouTube, etc. make historical content available to the audience and readers. Yes, student. So here many web news are there. Means the news are published on the websites, their websites or portals. Social media, for example, what we can say, Facebook is there, Instagram is there, then Twitter is there, then web channels are there, a lot of web channels are there. YouTube, this is one of the very famous social media, we can say, that is YouTube. Okay, student. So this is very important, student. Now make historical content available to the audience or readers. Now what I am doing, students, so I am telling you about the history only. So I will be publishing this on the YouTube. This content, my content, okay, will be published on YouTube. So YouTube is one of the very important source or medium of digital journalism. Don't forget it, student. Now student, next one of the very important, again, the source of journalism, that is radio. Yes, student, radio. Okay, in olden days it was very famous, but nowadays FMs are there, radios are there. Very rarely the people use to radios nowadays. Now see student, just a second. Yes, student, radio. Indian Broadcasting Company, that is IBC, a private radio company, was the first one to broadcast daily programs. So which was that company started publishing or broadcasting the daily programs? That was Indian Broadcasting Company, that is IBC. Nowadays we know about air. In that time Indian Broadcasting Company was there, and this company was completely private radio company, and for the first time it started publishing or broadcasting daily programs in India. Later the same company was taken over by the British government and named as Indian State Broadcasting Service. Okay students, so afterward this private company came into the rule or the under the rule of the British government, and it was renamed as Indian State Broadcasting Service, that is ISBS. Okay, earlier it was IBC, now it is ISBS in the British government when the British government took over the company. Now on 8th June 1936 it was renamed as All India Radio. Just now I have told you, don't forget. Okay, this company is renamed as All India Radio, that is air on 8th June 1936. So don't forget the date student. Okay, it is very important. Question can be asked, objective type of question can be asked on this. After independence, air became an integral part of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting India. Okay, so it is a very important part or the integral part of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting India. Initially it broadcasted governmental programs and schemes. Okay, it was named as Akashwani on the suggestion of the famous poet Pandit Narendra Sharma. Now student, here initially means in earlier stage all the news related to government's policy, related to the government program had been broadcasted on this air, we can say. Then afterward it named as Akashwani. See, it was named as Akashwani on the request of one of the very renowned poet, that is Pandit Narendra Sharma. Okay student, have understood this much? Very good. Now the next one, let's try to understand the next part. Akashwani broadcasts various entertainment, awareness creating and literary programs. Okay, so the air started broadcasting various programs related to entertainment, then creating awareness in the people, then literary programs were published or broadcasted with the help of air. It has broadcasted special programs for farmers, workers, the youth and the women. So it started broadcasting the programs, special programs related to farmer. For example, one of the very important, one of the very famous programs in Marathi was Amchi Mati Amchi Mansar. Remember this student, and if you have seen this somewhere, then comment in the comment section. This was very famous program for the farmers, that is Amchi Mati Amchi Mansar. Okay, right now also if you see Doordarshan sometime, then in the evening it is played, it is broadcasted, it broadcasts right now also. Okay students, so now the Vividh Bharati programs are broadcasted in 24 regional languages as well as 146 dialects. Yes students, see the Vividh Bharati programs, various programs were there on the air broadcasting. So Vividh Bharati one of them, and under this Vividh Bharati various programs were published, and these programs were published in the 24 regional main languages as well as 146 dialects. Okay, so 24 regional languages and 146 dialects of Indian languages. Lately various new channels like Radio Mirchi are providing radio services. So many FMs are there now, many radios are there now which provides various services, entertainment, and with that entertainment some other information also is given by the other radios. Okay students, so one of that is Radio Mirchi. Okay students, have you understood? Very good. So before moving further, before studying television, we a little bit part is left that we are going to learn now. See student, here, see this part is left. Let's search and find out Apart from the journals cited above, there are many more journals related to research in history published in Marathi, Hindi and English by various institutions and universities. Search and find out about them with the help of internet. So student, this activity is for you. So many journals are there, many journals published in a different languages, for example Hindi, Marathi, English language. What you have to do is that with the help of internet you have to find out such kind of journals and you have to write in short about that journals. Now one of the again important part is left, that is, do you know? See, what is it? In the British India, the first English news bulletin was broadcasted on 23rd July 1927. Don't forget the date, student. This is about the news bulletin broadcasted in British India. Okay, in British India means what? Our country is under the rule of Britishers, and for the first time, the first English news bulletin was broadcasted on 23rd July 1927. Don't forget. Okay, from the Mumbai radio station of the Indian Broadcasting Company, that is IBC. Okay, so IBC was the first radio company in India, and that was private one. Later, the Kolkata radio station of IBC started a news bulletin in Bengali, and after that, in Kolkata, the same company, that is IBC, started the news bulletin in Kolkata, we can say. Understood, student, this much? Now next one. Dear students, already I have told you that this chapter we are going to study in more than one part. So this is the second part, and more importantly there will be one more part of this lesson. Okay, so student, before winding up this video, we are going to study one short point, that is television. Okay students, okay, yes, so let's start now. Television. The Delhi Doordarshan Center was inaugurated by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first Indian president, on 15th September 1959. So student, here we are going to study about the television now. Nowadays we have almost all the people have television at their home. That is called as television. Means what? It is TV. Okay, television. Okay, so in olden days when it was started, the Delhi Doordarshan Center was inaugurated by whom? It is inaugurated by the first president of India, that is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And it was inaugurated on 15th September 1959. Student, don't forget 1959. Okay, we got independence in 1947. So almost after what we can say 12 years, the Doordarshan started in India. Okay, now Doordarshan's Mumbai Center began to telecast its program on 1st May 1972. Students, now here the Doordarshan's Mumbai Center means here in the Mumbai Center was there, the center of the Doordarshan was there, and it started telecasting its programs on 1st May 1972. Don't forget 1972. Okay, now see student. Okay students, so this is very important. Now color television was introduced on 15th August 1982. Means after 10 years means what, the center in Mumbai started broadcasting its program on 1st May 1972. Then in 1982 the color program started publishing or broadcasting. Okay, so on 15th August 1982 the color television was started in India or introduced in India. In 1991 the Indian government granted permission to private national and international channels to telecast in India. See student, the private, before that only Doordarshan was there, and Doordarshan was the channel of the Indian government. Now in 1991 the Indian government has given permission to the private channels also, so that they can broadcast in India. Okay, so private national and international channels to telecast in India. Thus it became possible for Indians to watch international events on television. And students, have you understood this much? So this was the last point of this video, okay, of the second part of this lesson. Okay students, dear students, if you found it very useful to you, informative to you, then do not forget to hit the like button. Okay students, as well as comment in the comment section. And if you are new on my channel, then do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will get current notification of each and every new video. Okay students, and if you are my existing subscribers, viewers, then do not forget to share it to your friends. Thank you students. Till the new video, be studious, be thoughtful and be connected. Thank you.